Hello there, and thanks for joining us on the Joy News channel. Well, this afternoon there's tension at Assin North in the Assin North constituency, where what observers describe as thugs are engaging in exchange of fisticuffs with less than 2 hours to the end of polling in that crucial by-election. We are your election headquarters, and of course the NDC's National Youth Organizer George Opare Ado and also Communications Officer Sami Jemfi and his deputies are all alleging that they've been attacked with videos of their vandalized vehicles going around on social media. We'll seek some clarities on the matters, plus take you live to the constituency where a lot of action is happening as we speak. Don't forget that also coming up, we're looking at that situation in Parliament. An empty house today as MPs troop to Assin North for that by-election. You can see there in the visuals that there's absolutely no activity happening on the floor of the House. Why is this the case, and what are the likely implications for democratic governance? Is coming up here on the polls. And fuel shortage is also up. It's looming. A strike by tanker drivers enters day 2 today with nearly 80 million litres of fuel stuck in tanks at the Tema depot. We'll get you some updates here on the Pulse. The Pulse, as always, is brought to you by Global Communities, Digni, Lu, Affordable Safe Sanitation. Don't forget that we're on DSTV channel 421. I'm blessed to Joy News is independent, fearless, and credible. We're back with details. Please stay. Thanks for joining us again. We are your election headquarters. So let's talk about where all of the action is today, Assin North, because vote buying and issues of pockets of attacks have characterized the rather peaceful and well-organized by-elections in the Assin North constituency of the Central Region. It is a crucial vote for both the governing side, the New Patriotic Party, and the opposition, National Democratic Congress. Those two sides have marshaled all of the resources available to them to ensure that their party's candidate emerges victorious after today's polls. This afternoon, as your election headquarters, we've also done same by marshalling all of our resources to ensure that you're informed about every incident regarding this very crucial elections. First, though, there's more from my colleague Richard Kojonyako and Ohiming Tevia, who are on the ground for us, and we'll be bringing us all of the action of what's happening as we're just about hours to end the crucial by-elections. But first, though, let's help you understand what's happening within the Assin North area, shall we? So we know that the Assin North district is one of the 22 districts in the Central Region, originally part of the then larger and first Assin North Municipal District in 2004. And southern parts of the district was actually split off to create the present Assin North that we see back in 2018. The capital being Assin North, where, of course, it's been deemed that this is the area that will be the stronghold for all. Actual population within the area is around 80,539. So that's the outlook of the place. But those who would be deciding this election will be less than half, or perhaps say half of that number. So who are those going into the elections? There you have them. Charles Opoku coming on board and replacing the New Patriotic Party's candidate in the 2018, the 2020 general elections, because Charles Opoku is the new parliamentary face for the NPP, who says he's keen on unseating James Jachikwesin, and it's because of James Jachikwesin that all of this is happening today. He has been indicted by a Supreme Court ruling indicating that he's got dual nationality, a reason for which his candidacy at the time and subsequent electoral victory was annulled by the Supreme Court. So James Jachikwesin, in the middle there, will be seeking to retain, if not retain, contest once more to ensure that this time around he becomes Member of Parliament of the area. There's also the LPG's candidate, who's Sepeno Benis Enyunam, representing the LPG. But how's the data looking like in terms of projections for the NPP and the NDC going forward? I'll show that to you shortly. But first you need to know that James Jachikwesin is on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress, way older than his main contender, who is now 70 years of age, as you see right there on your screens. He comes from Assin North, where, of course, I've been telling you about the dynamics and how a lot has changed for James Jachikwesin. But James Jachikwesin, we know, is the former Member of Parliament for the area. Now the Supreme Court says he's been struck off the records, so he would have to run again. Now you have Charles Opoku also coming from that same Assin North, changing the narrative and the dynamics. But over the year, this is how things played out within the constituency itself. Back in '96, obviously you had Kennedy Ejapon, who is there and has been there since as the MP now of one of the Assin areas, but originally that was a broader area, so he dominated, and then we had a swing situation between the NDC and the NPP on different occasions, especially between 2012 to 2020, because that was when the dynamics had changed within the area, Assin North, as we're talking about, because the creation of the new area and also the new constituency brought about some changes in the face. So we can categorically say that this is a swing area, but based on last time's elections, I mean the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections, you can see clearly there that the presidential candidate won, who happens to be the president now, 50.81%, and you have James Jachikwesin coming through and winning with some 55.21%, signaling that there might be a case of skirt and blouse there, also pointing to some issues that bedeviled the New Patriotic Party within the constituency, a reason for which their parliamentary candidate could not win that elections. And on the grounds this afternoon, though, Joy News is learning of tension which is building up. The NDC National Youth Organizer, George Opariado, is allegedly the first to have suffered some attacks. We've seen videos going viral on social media indicating that. We'll be getting to the grounds for you shortly, and also getting you some updates on what's happening. But George Opariado, as I was indicating, is one of them. We're also learning of that of Sami Jemfi. So we can now take you over to the constituency where all of the events are unfolding. My colleague Richard Kojinyako and of course, the others are monitoring the event there. Richard, what's happening and what can you report? Richard, if you can hear me, I'm just asking what's the latest where you are?
In the Assin North constituency. In fact, we have traveled the entire day. We are not yet at our destination. Shortly, we'll be speaking with the Electoral Commission Director of Operations, Dr. Sribu Okweku. But my colleague, Ohimen Tewia, is with me. Ohimen, we've journeyed from dawn. We are getting to dusk. What can you tell me about what you've observed so far?
I'll say that the electorates in the Assin North constituency has been very enthusiastic about this election. Remember yesterday when we discussed what could be happening today, I told you that one of the indications I have picked is that residents who want to take part in this election, they are taking it as a full-time job. Many of them who are farmers who would love to be, at the polling centers to cast their ballot than to go to their farms. And that is what we are witnessing today. So as early as 4 a.m., some of the electors were already at the polling centers waiting for Electoral Commission officials to even set up for election that case starts at 7 a.m. So the electors were there 3 hours earlier before the start of the proceedings.
In fact, that is so because they have anticipated this by-election for a very long time. For weeks, campaigns have gone on, they have debated, they've had some conversations and all of that. Now, let's start with how the process started. Security arrangement. How do you see the security arrangement?
Security, I would say, has been top-notch. Yesterday, the IGP did promise the political parties taking part in this election, the MPP, NDC, and LPG, that security will be one of the key responsibilities of the police, and that police will live up to expectations. So he even asked a party to leave security to the police, providing security at the electoral voting centers shouldn't be the work of the political parties. And the IGP has lived to the bill. At all the polling stations I have been to, I could count about at least 5 police officers providing security to the electors and then to also the staff of the Electoral Commission. So I would say security has been one of the best in the Assin North constituency.
I mean, that notwithstanding, we've witnessed some incident here. One person was arrested for posing as a policeman. Another was arrested for capturing an election material. Did you witness that incident as well?
I didn't witness that incident at the places I visited. Remember, I was at Dansame, I was at India, I was at Sempaneye, I was at Kushia, and all the hamlets around those places. But maybe for those of you who were at Breku, where I would say has been the epicenter of the Assin North constituency by-election, you did witness.
Okay, all right. So we are barely 2 hours to the close of polls here at Assin Breku, and I can tell you that just as Ohemi described the situation, the residents have been very enthusiastic about the entire thing. In fact, as early as 5 a.m., some of them had already formed the queues. With the 99 polling centers here, we are going to witness what many have described as the high turnout of vote. In one of the polling stations that is very close by, a voter population of about 421, over 300 people had voted as at 2 p.m. The other polling station I was also watching, a voter population of about 503, as of 2 p.m., 334 people had voted. So the process is still ongoing. But my colleague, Ohimi Nteria, is going to have a brief interaction with Dr. Sribo Kweku. Ohimi, just let Dr. Sribo Kweku walk us through what has been happening, what we are in for, and where it will all end.
Yes, Dr. Sribo Kweku has been on the ground throughout my visit to the polling stations, observing the elections. I met him at all these places. So I'll say he's been the man on the ground as the director of elections at the Electoral Commission. Let me find out from you, Dr. Sribo Kweku, your assessment of the entire process leading to the election of a parliamentary candidate for Assin North.
Yeah, thank you very much. What I will say is that so far so good. On the part of the Electoral Commission, our materials go up to the various polling stations by 6 o'clock. And as a result, each of the 99 polling stations was able to start at 7 as required. So far, we have not had any issues at the polling station with respect to the ongoing election. The officials are doing their professional work. The BVD machine is working. There have not been any shortage of materials. There have not been any variance at each of the polling stations. So far, I would say that it's good. And the polling stations that we visited before 12 o'clock, almost all of them had more than 50% voter turnout. So we are expecting that by the time we close at 5, the numbers will have increased, and possibly go beyond that of the Kumawu elections. Even though I've heard that some people have been attacked, and I was at the police, and I was at the police joint operation command. So they've sent people to the center to go and intervene. So we are hoping that we will have peaceful elections.
I see. You talk about the fact that the voter turnout is high. How would you rate the voter turnout? Because you are talking about the centers you visited before midday or at midday. Now it's been 3 hours now after you visited those places. What has been the information on the ground from your officers who are taking part in the process?
When those areas and when we visited, the numbers were more than 50%, but still there were queues and people were still voting. So that's what I'm saying, that I wouldn't be surprised if you go beyond the 60% that was achieved at Kumawu. But I've not had discussions on the front after I have left.
So what's the difference between what we are seeing here and the scenes we witnessed in Kumawu as far as voter turnout is concerned? Because you mentioned with the fact that even at this time we still have queues at the polling stations.
I've not visited all the centers, but the projection is that we may go beyond that of Kumawu. What I'm saying so in the sense that if you look at the congestions at the polling stations compared to the year, you could see a lot of people more than Kumawu. But I can't put my hand until we finish the voting, we do the counting, then we can talk about the figures. As
a commission, what has been your projection for a voter turnout?
We normally with by-election, we move around 55%. So that is what we expect. But as I said, Kumawu was able to go beyond that. And it is also possible that here too we can go beyond what the Kumawu people achieved.
What could be accounting for this high voter turnout in Assin North?
I would say that it is confidence in the system. When you talk of efficacy of the ballots, it is measured by the voter turnout and the number of rejected ballots. So if you talk of efficacy, then they should be reduced or lower rejected ballots and higher voter turnout. So if people are voting and this, the people still have confidence in the system. And people know that they can use the ballot or the thumbprint to take a decision. And that is exactly what is being manifested at our 2 by-elections.
Did the political parties play a role in galvanizing the support or the participation of the electors?
No, election is collective responsibility. So all stakeholders have roles to play. So if all stakeholders have a role to play, then you cannot take off the media, the security services, the political parties, the electoral commission, the voters and everybody. So it means that everybody is playing his or her role. That's why we are achieving what we are getting.
Let's talk about security. I know one of the key concerns that the police and the electoral commission raised yesterday at the stakeholder meeting was security. As a commission, how would you rate the performance of the police, who have been the sole providers of security?
But for the complaints that we received about some people attacking some vehicles, the police is working on that. I wouldn't want to go into details because I don't have the details. But for those reports, I think it will have been so far very peaceful. Because the issue is that people are going to take decisions, and decisions are through their tongue. So there's no need for physical attack on anybody. So to me, I get sad when I hear of violence during decisions. But as I said, that is with the police. So for now, I don't have any evidence about anything. But if it is true, then it's official.
That there were issues of or allegations of vote buying from some political parties. I heard the minority leader, Dr. Kesi Atufo, complaining bitterly that the MPP was allegedly behind vote buying in the constituency. As a EC, has this complaint come to your attention?
We have not had that complaint, but what we normally say is that these are infractions on the laws. So if somebody is going contrary to the law, the person should be reported to the police. Because if the police don't have the proof, who are with the power to investigate and the rest. If we report to the electoral commission, we can't do anything about it because that is not our work. So once that infractions are happening, if you inform us and you have evidence, we can help you to report to the police. But the other thing is that once things are happening, you report to the police. But if they need to arrest, they will arrest and do the next investigation so that they can establish the truth or otherwise of them.
So even if there's allegation of vote buying, those complaints wouldn't come to EC, but it should end up at the police.
They don't have. If anybody is committing any crime, that should not be reported to the electoral commission. If you are telling us, you are already informing us, and probably we will help or facilitate it. It's a reportage. But the best thing is that once somebody is committing a crime, you report the person to the police.
If you are to rate today's election, would you say that as a commission, this is a free and fair election? Though we are not there yet, we are left with some hours to end voting.
So let us know what is free in an election, what is fair in an election. The election is said to be free when all the stakeholders have the freedom to participate in acting. For example, some people should have the right to campaign. So I have not heard of anybody being stopped doing the campaign in terms of campaigning. People should have the right or freedom to go and vote. As of I have not heard that anybody is being stopped from voting. The security services, you the media, you should have the right to do your media work. So far, I don't think any media person has been stopped. So that is the freeness of the part. Then when we talk of fairness, fairness is in application of the law. If the vote is for A, it should be counted for A. If the vote is for B, it should be counted for B. So when the laws are applied as they are in our status, that means that we are being fair. So far, so good. I've not heard of any infractions on the laws, and I've not heard of anybody complaining that he or she is not being allowed to perform his function. So the freeness is there and the fairness is there. But we can conclude after we are finished with the counting and the voting, then the results will show that the election was free and fair.
Once you've brought in the issue of counting of votes, let's talk about collation, because collation has been one of the significant activity that can delay the announcement of the result. As you see, what arrangements have you put in place to ensure that the results comes on time and then they are declared on time?
So if you look at it, when the distribution was done, we were able to get to the center before 6 o'clock. Meaning that what we put in place in terms of the movement of the materials, they were successfully achieved. Then we are reversing it for the retrieval of the material. So once they are well reversed, it means that the materials will come on time and we can use that to also do the collation. So we are hoping that by 5:30 the result will start coming and the mechanisms are in place to retrieve the materials. So once they are properly retrieved, then we can get the results.
All right, so Kojo Nyaku, if you can hear me, that has been the conversation between Dr. Sebo Kweku, Director of Elections at the EC, giving them some insight on what has been happening here. So, Kojo, if you can hear me, I would like you to take over and speak to some of the people that you have lined up for this afternoon.
Sorting out and then counting will follow, and then the declaration by the EC. It's interesting how, a lot of debates are ongoing, and the debates are still centering on George Achikwesin, whether he was treated fairly or not. And so a lot of people have trooped from their houses and they have joined the conversation. You can see in your shot how interested the people of this area have become. Farmers who are into rice farming, who are into cocoa production, and all of them, they have gathered here. They are anxiously waiting for the outcome of this very particular by-election. It means a lot to them. In fact, the declaration of the by-election, some of them say that it's brought some goodies to them. Let me engage some of the people that are hearing gathered. Doc, I hope you are fine.
I'm doing well, by grace. How are you too?
I'm good. You are from the Ashanti region. Why are you here? This is the central region. Why have you invaded our territory?
Thank you so much. So, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
This is a regular refrain. I heard some yesterday. What kind of injustice are you talking about?
Injustice to Kwesi today can be an injustice to Dr. Frank Amakonyi tomorrow. And we are saying this because we need to eschew political witch hunting and victimization from our democracy. That is the only way we can grow as a people. When we conduct an election, you win, hooray, you lose, hooray, we go. But to manipulate the system in order that you can use that to settle political scores is something we are not ready to go in for. So
who is manipulating what?
You see, the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, came here into this constituency, and as a renowned lawyer and astute lawyer as he claims he is, knowing very well that everyone is innocent until a court of competent jurisdiction declares otherwise, stood on a big platform and declared Kwesi as a jail candidate. That is so unfortunate, coming from the first gentleman of the land. So it tells you that right from the seat and the heart of government, it is just an orchestration to put Joe Kwesi at a very tight corner. But
not the law, an orchestration rather than.
Of course. What we are doing now and what
did the Supreme Court do?
You see, Kwame Nkrumah won his election from the prisons. We've had Nelson Mandela winning as president of South Africa.
So George Kwesi is another Kwame Nkrumah in the making.
I keep saying that even if they kill and bury Joe Kwesi, we will put his bones together, add ligaments, add muscles, connect blood vessels to his heart, give him a brain, and get him here to contest for any other election that we will conduct in this.
So we are barely 2 hours away from close of polls. Are you confident? Let me check your heartbeat.
Gavin might say those. You want to listen to my heart?
You figure George Kwesi will carry the day?
The outcome of this election is just one. It's a victory for Joe Kwesi. Okay. Nothing else. One outcome from this election.
Thank you very much. So he says that one outcome for George Kwesi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So do you vote here? Have you voted? Do you have a vote?
No, I don't vote here.
But it appears that many of the people that we've been interacting with, they are not voters in the Assin North constituency. Largely, they have come to lend their support to one candidate or the other. So why are you here? You've defied everything. The rains and all of that. You are here to support George Kwesi?
Yes, please.
You are also drumming injustice?
Injustice, exactly. There has been this injustice meted out to Honorable George Kwesi Jr. And I came from Assin South this morning that what Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the Supreme Court has done, it is very wrong. It is very appalling. And we are here to support our people over here to vote and prove to Nana Addo and the Supreme Court that James Kwesi Jr. is well loved. The people of Assin North are very proud of him. And today, they are going to prove to the whole world.
Thank you very much. Let me speak with this gentleman. What's your name?
Collins Osa Mankwa, former MP Assin North constituency.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the Pulse on Joy News. Now, I understand that you've gone to some of the police stations.
Yes. I've been here for the past 4 or 5 days, and I can confidently say that the people are wide awake. They are aware of the massive infrastructure development that the current administration is embarking on within their communities.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's almost a love affair here. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. So you are not from this constituency. You are definitely from Agona. So why are you here?
Oh, I'm here just to support, make sure that we win the seat.
What kind of support are you providing them?
Oh, monetary support. We went around to campaign, and today we are supervising to make sure that everything is under control. That's the main reason why we are here, to give support to our young, new, vibrant member of parliament that we are going to usher in next week.
The NDC senses injustice against George Kwesi, and they feel that the people of Assin North should punish the MPP for that. You also sense the same injustice they are talking about?
Even if your daughter goes for something, even sugar, and you ask her, she says, I didn't take it. When you find out that she took it, you punish her, just to make sure that next time she won't do that again. George Kwesi lied to Ghanaians. George Kwesi lied to the good people of Assin North. So he is rather the one who has deceived the people of Assin North. It's not MPP. We have nothing to do with Gyakye Quayson. It's the law that is dealing with Gyakye Quayson. And it has happened before. And so for them to tell the good people of Ghana that there's an injustice to Gyakye Quayson is a big lie. He has done this service to himself. You understand? So what he told the people of Assin North that he is a full Ghanaian and that he's going to change this constituency and turn it into Canada. That is the main reason why they voted for him.
We are barely 2 hours away from the close of polls. Do you feel nervous?
No, I'm so optimistic.
Really? So can we check your heartbeat to see?
You can. I'm sorry.
We'll bring a stethoscope then.
All right.
So Collins, so tell me, I mean, do you also smell of the injustice the people are talking about?
Injustice in what sense?
They say that Gyakye Quayson has not been treated fairly, for which reason they want the electorate here to punish the MPP.
I think we are not living in Banana Republic. We live in a country where laws are working. And now he has issue with the law of the land and not anybody, not any patriotic party, and also even not people of Assin, but the law itself. So we should allow the law to take its own course. Yes.
You sound victory coming?
I'm very optimistic, except to say that NDC is on destructive mission, because I have gone round and the kind of propaganda, malicious campaign that they are embarking on smacks of hypocrisy and double standard. They are the very people who are sharing money. They are
seen some?
Wellington. Yes.
Seen some?
Yes, I was in
capture some of them.
Haiteman village. Yes, NDC people were there and they were sharing Wellington boots, cutlasses, money. Only not money, and they'll turn around to say that it's rather MPP that is sharing money.
Tell me, has the MPP not also been sharing?
I haven't seen.
But you've seen that?
I haven't seen. Of course, I saw it. In fact, I saw them at Kalu village. They came there. They came to Nkranfu village. Yeah, and they were doling out money. Yes, they were buying votes, and also misleading the people that when you vote for MPP, we are going to implement this LGBT. I mean, what do they seek to gain? What do they seek to gain? Our position is clear that we are not in. We are not in because we believe in the laws of this country. We cherish our culture, and our culture frowns on implementation of LGBTQ. So there's no way. Okay.
So thank you very much, Collins. Okay. All right. So I have the communications officer, the national communications director of the New Patriotic Party. Earlier, I spoke with you, and you intimated that you were kind of intimidated by what was happening here. Do you still hold that belief?
Well, I didn't say quite that. I said that the NDC appeared to be creating a hostile environment in a place supposedly our stronghold.
And the hostility is gone?
Well, I mean, you see, generally, there's still people here, but the temperature has come down quite a bit. And I think that this is what we expect everything to be. So we expect that the police will continue to maintain this order and ensure that it's a simple process of people expressing their views by selecting who they want to select to represent them. It shouldn't be a do or die affair, as the NDC always talk about. It should be a simple process of democracy, and I think that the calm here now is okay.
I know the stakes are high. Do you feel nervous at this point in time? We are barely 2 hours away from close up.
No. I spoke with your network earlier, and I told them that by 6 p.m., 7 p.m., indeed, when everything is done and counted, the report you'll be giving is that a New Patriotic Party has captured the seat here in Assin North. That, for me, is a certainty I have in my heart.
So your overall assessment of how the things started and they are about ending?
Well, certainly, I mean, the NDC was jittery in the morning. They knew this was coming. Their defeat is imminent. So they were trying initially to create a certain atmosphere to affect the tranquility of the environment and to create fear and panic. But now it's stabilized, and I expect that it will remain this way. We're all vigilant. We are going around and supervising the place. I just came from one police station, Xavier Police Station, supposedly a place that largely votes for the NDC. Everything is quiet there. People are voting as and when they should. So
is your contention that if the MPP succeeds in winning Assin Breku, you can confidently and safely say that you've won the by-election?
But that's what it will be, right? That's what it will be. That if we win, then we have won.
Assin Breku, I mean.
Oh, yes, you are meaning that if we win Assin Breku, it's a determination that we have won.
I can see that a lot of the energies are concentrated here.
Not necessarily, but this is one of the biggest. It's a 13 police station area, and so we're confident about winning it. And then you see the numbers because there's so many police stations here. And here I think we have about 3 or 4 in this perimeter alone. So that's why you see a lot of people here. But the key thing is that Breku is a key place for us to win, and we'll win it.
Your comment on this, the national organizer of the NDC, George Opariado, Sami Jemfi, and the deputy, they are saying that they've been assaulted, their vehicles have been vandalized. Has this come to your attention?
Well, I've heard reports about that. I think somebody attempted to show me the pictures. The impression created when I heard about it is not quite what I've seen, but that is not to say that it should be minimized. But I'm not sure who did that, but what I think we can all say and push for is that the police must get on the job and find out who those people are and deal with them according to law.
Earlier, one person was arrested for posing as a security person. What do you know about it?
Well, the circumstance of that arrest, I just heard about it vaguely, that somebody has been arrested. The details of it, I'm not aware. But the point is that you have about 800 odd police people here. They must do their work.
All right. Thank you very much. So that's the communications director of the NPP, Mr. Richard Ahia. But my colleague, Ohime Interior, is here with a brief. He will have a brief interaction with some of our audience. Ohime. Okay. So thank you very much. So where are you coming from? Do you vote in this constituency?
No, I vote at Abrasebu Kwamankesi. My name is Kobna, but Nyante. But most people
to do Kobna Nyante.
That's right. You seem to know me already.
Yes, I am the chief of the central region. So I know everybody. I can count all of you. So why are you here? This is not Abrasebu Kwamankesi. This is Assin North. Why have you traveled all the way to this place?
It is for the love of the party and it is for national development. I mean, it is a fact that the New Patriotic Party has been the main party in Ghana that has always progressed in terms of social development and all kinds of development in the nation. So if there is the need to be able to increase the number of parliamentarians in parliament for the MPP, it is a duty of call on me to come and support our own Charles Opoku, who is winning massively today.
You might have your legs on something. That is why you will say that Charles Opoku is winning. From the NDC, they feel that it's a done deal.
I've been here for a couple of days, and it is not just about just sitting here in only Brekusu. I have been to a number of the villages.
And they tell you that Charles Opoku is winning?
Well, you look at the circumstances on the ground. These are people who knew that they never had any support under the NDC when it comes to road construction. And I see a lot of roads under construction, bridges being created. These are people who had no hope that classrooms will be built for them. They are seeing classrooms being built for them. These are people who never had any hope of getting any cheap compounds. They are seeing cheap compounds being built for them. These are people who never had any hope of getting any support in terms of agriculture. This is one constituency that grows rice. They are seeing massive support in terms of growing rice production right here in this constituency. So when you look at all this support and you look at the work that Charles Opoku himself has done in terms of the number of people that he has supported in education, in terms of the number of foundations that he has supported in the constituency, if you look at this main Assin Fosu road, this road has been left undone for about 20 years. I remember using this road years ago between Abrasebu, Kwamankasi and Kumasi, and it was horrible. Today, we see bitumen on the road, freshly made, and you drive on it smoothly to Kumasi. So these are the facts on the ground. These are the facts on the ground that gives me the confidence that today MPP is winning Assin North.
Thank you very much. Etudu Kobna Nyante. Okay, thank you. So we are we are still here at the Assin Breku Lorry Park. It's going to be a very long day, a very long night, because the process hasn't yet completed. We are yet to complete the entire thing. Close of polls, it has 5 p.m. Sorting out of the ballots will follow, and then counting will also continue. Then thereafter, whoever will be declared winner by the EC, that will automatically and ultimately complete the process. So you see, we are surrounded by a sea of supporters from both the MPP and the NDC, and also the LPG. But we are not hearing much from the LPG candidate and the followers of the LPG candidate. But the fact remains that we have 3 candidates that are contesting this election. So let me speak lastly to the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, who is also touring some of the constituencies. So sir, tell me, what have you found on the ground? Are you winning?
We are winning, despite the violence of the MPP. They've shot into the youth organizers' vehicle, but for God, he would have been a dead man. They attacked the vehicle of the National Communication Officer, Sami Jemfi, destroyed and vandalized his vehicle. They attacked the Deputy Communication Officer's vehicle, Malik Basintali. We will not break the law. We will not be violent, but we will defend ourselves.
I keep on hearing they. Which of the MPP people do you know, for which reason you are saying is the MPP?
We have given information to the police. I just saw some military officers, numbering about 6, in a vehicle here. I've confronted them. They've bolted. By the time we called for reinforcement, they were nowhere to be found. Simply because in our agreement with the police, we do not have, as part of our plans, for any joint operation under the circumstances. There could only be a joint deployment where they call for reinforcement if the police cannot contain the situation on the ground. You can see how peaceful this exercise has been. There was no room, there was no basis for us to see military officers on this field. And that any military officer seen is an imposter. And so the NDC will not break the law. The NDC will not take our brothers for granted, but we will not be intimidated. That I must repeat. That the NDC will not be intimidated today, will not be intimidated tomorrow. What happened in Ayawasu, an inch of it will not happen here. We came here in peace, we live here in peace. At the end of the day, whoever wins have won. We will accept the verdict of a transparent election. We will accept the verdict that is representing the will of the people. But when we would have to be subjected to any form of intimidation, that will not happen. I am very confident that from the look of things, by 6 p.m., the MDC will retain Honorable Jechikwesin as a member of Parliament for Assin North. Thank you.
Have you reported the matter to the police?
We have done so and given them evidence.
All right. So that is Mustafa Bande, the Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, making some statements here. But in all, he is calling for peace, that they are for peace, they are not for war, and they will do everything they can to sustain the peace and the democracy we all enjoy as Ghanaians. So we are still at the Assin Breku, and this is a very important turf, because both parties believe that should any of them win the Assin, all the police stations in Assin Breku, then the by-election is a done deal. They will not even focus on the other polling stations elsewhere, because this one is a very important place for them. And that is why you find a lot of the people that are here, the people that reside in that Assin North constituency, and the people that do not come from here. Some have traveled all the way from the Ashanti region, Eastern region, Western region, to lend their support to their respective parties and candidates in this very election. So I will hand you over to Blessed Suga to continue with the polls on Joy News.
We are indeed your election headquarters. Richard Kojinyako giving us the latest from the Assin North area. Quite a charged atmosphere there, given the fact that all the political parties have less than 2 hours to make a difference, if any, before the counting gets underway. We've also been interacting with leading figures of the National Democratic Congress, starting with the General Secretary, Fifi Fiavikweche, who's been sharing his thoughts about the exercise today.
Very good so far.
So you've been around, you've monitored. How is everything going?
Hello. I would say largely very peaceful so far and a very brisk activity. I would say we are happy so far with how things have been. We expect that to continue like this all the way to 5 o'clock and then also the counting. So far very good.
Okay. So any reservations, any observations that you've made that you want the police to address so far?
I would say largely the police have shown to be very professional in all the places we've been. There've really not been any major incident. We pick up a few, but we're here to get a confirmation. We've heard, for example, that there is a military officer that has been busted. We picked that news. Yet to get a full confirmation of that. I guess one of your sister stations must have picked it up or something like that. That would be worrying. But then the news is that it's the police that arrested him. So we show that the police clearly is very determined to ensure that the right thing is done. So we hope that continues all the way.
There's been allegations of money sharing, from both the MPP and the NDC side. You, as the General Secretary of the NDC, how would you react to this?
I would say that by and large, our friends on the other side, being in government, are known exactly for doing what they do. We can anticipate that a lot more will be done.
Do you mean the NDC in opposition is broke?
NDC obviously can never compete with MPP when it comes to money. You know that. I mean, clearly they have access to virtually the whole government money. They can share as much as they want. It's not just, bribery is not just in terms of even the money that they are sharing today, but even the whole degeneration of impoverishing people and then coming on election time to come and deceive them that you are actually caring for them, constructing roads overnight, building this and building that. That all is part of the big corruption that is going on. But we are hoping our people, even though there's a lot of difficulty in the economy, will be able to appreciate that this amount to just insulting their intelligence. I mean, not caring about them and waiting until election before you take care of them. So let's hope our people are awake to that reality.
How do you respond to the MPP is still holding on to the fact that Honorable Jachikwesin is an alien, he's a bugger, he doesn't belong here, and so the people should vote against him? How would you respond to that?
I think we'll leave that for the people of Assin North, and I'm sure the Assin North people who voted for him massively the first time will be able to do exactly the same thing again. I mean, MPP can say what they want, but the people's will be manifest, and I'm sure by close of today it will be obvious that no matter all the evil orchestration, and remember, all this orchestration is coming from just one thing. Jachikwesin was part of the group that voted for the Speaker of Parliament. That is it. If Jachikwesin had not done that vote, trust me, he would not be persecuted today. If he had not been in that process, there's no way they would have done what they are. Or if Jachikwesin is what you call a corrupt person who decides to go and see them and compromise himself, collect bribe from the degenerate government that we have, all this problem would not have been. So that's the problem we have. A government that is determined to corrupt this country, want to subject everybody to their will, are ready to bribe. If you are not ready to bribe, then they persecute you. If you are not ready, they will jail you. But the people of Ghana will resist them, and definitely there will be an end to this darkness.
You spent weeks campaigning. Are you confident that by close or post today, your candidate will emerge the winner? What will it do for the NPP?
First and foremost, you must remember this election, this particular constituency was won by Nana Akufo-Addo in the year 2020. That's the last election. So generally they have some advantage, but we believe that the people will be able to see exactly the nature of what is going on in the country, especially the persecution that the MP is going through, and cautiously we are optimistic. But we are not leaving any stone unturned.
Well, we're also hearing reports that the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, has been attacked. We've not confirmed that yet, but earlier we caught up with him as well to take his thoughts on what's happening.
And you can see it. Afeni has started. By the time we are done, you will see the love that people have for him. The intimidation, the matter
my mistake.
Charles Opoku is a political prostitute. Honorable question Exactly. And yes,
where was that?
I can give you WhatsApp chats with our executives. That's a political prostitute. No principles, no conviction, no track record. You don't even vote here. And no person here MP. Let's leave it to the good people of Assin North to decide.
Contest now. Have you regretted? And this morning, because contest now, easy contest.
We could not have gotten any better option. since this constituency was created in 2012, the parliamentary candidate from 2012, they seen Mapa in any election, is him 17,500. Ebro Biadieso, Ebro presidential candidate Biadieso. He's the most popular person from Assin North. You can see the love they have for him. And we are happy, we are excited that we have somebody like Jachikwe leading our campaign. Thank you.
So that is Sami Jemfi, the communications officer of the NDC, indicating and alleging that Charles Opoku came to the NDC to tell them they should ignore George Jachikwe and allow him to contest as the candidate for this place, but they did not agree to that demand, and that is why he is describing Charles Opoku as a political prostitute, because he does not stick to one place. He came to them and he's saying that he can show us WhatsApp messages between himself and Charles Opoku, with Mr. Charles Opoku saying that he wants to join the NDC and they should allow him to contest in the name of the NDC. So that is currently happening. We are trying to get a word from Mr. George Achikwesin, who is just voted. He is clad in all white, and the supporters believe that George Achikwesin will be the eventual winner of this by-election. Meanwhile, the security has been very, very tight. We saw what happened when we went to the police center. Even though it's been a bit chaotic, but the security were able to put situations under control. And in terms of how the process is going, it's been going very, very smooth. He has voted. Now, the question many of the supporters of the NDC are asking is that now George Achikwesin has voted here. What about Charles Opoku? Because Charles Opoku cannot vote in this constituency as of now. And so this is what they are saying.
Has voted. The foreigner has voted. Now, the Ghanaian, that they say, they claim to be the citizen of Ghana. He should come and vote. We are waiting for them. Because our candidates have already voted. And they claim that he's a foreigner, Canadian. Now, we are waiting for the Ghanaian to come and vote. Yes, we are waiting for him to come and vote.
What has Charles done for you to repose that kind of confidence in him that he will win?
Sure, bro, sure. If it is more than 70%, then they means they have cheaters. That means you see have massaged the numbers. Yes.
Why will you be accusing the EC? Because now this is...
And we are your election headquarters. We'll be taking you back to the Assin North area, where counting will be starting in almost about an hour from now. But then we're also looking at another side to the story, because virtually no activity at all taking place in Parliament today. There you see it on your screens, an empty chamber where, of course, business was expected to be carried out today. What's accounting for this, and what will be the implication for democratic governance? We'll explore that when we return, plus get you some updates on what's happening. This is The Pulse. Please stay, we'll be back.
Smile, Look lively, okay? Smile, smile. Is the money?
At the Home Depot, we'll get your kitchen clicking. With savings on top brand appliances, like a new LG CounterDepth Max refrigerator with ultra-large capacity on the inside and a seamless look on the outside. Or an LG oven with built-in air fryer for crispier, healthier cooking. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away too. Get special buy savings plus up to $1,000 off select kitchen appliances like this exclusive LG kitchen package at the Home Depot.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie.
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity.
We're going to the city?
Authenticity.
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic. Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Too small.
A bad stomach ruins your day. Don't let it. Take Gastron, your most effective antacid, for the relief of symptoms of peptic ulcer, heartburn, gas pain, flatulence, and indigestion.
Hey guys, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Mwah. Can you bring down the smiles more?
Gastron, effective relief from stomach discomfort. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
EcoBank salary account, bro. See, with the EcoBank salary account, you will enjoy free life insurance, free debit card, save while you spend, and an amazing chance to double your salary. And even more consolation rewards in the EcoBank double salary promo reloaded.
Guy, this EcoBank salary account sounds interesting. What do you think?
Yara, but maybe next time, Charlie. You know what? I'll go shine my shoe.
Yo, myself, I'll go check my BP.
We going up, never go down, and we stay fly.
Chairman, you see the white sign it here.
Who be late?
Open an EcoBank salary account today for a lifetime of benefits. You also stand a chance to win more than double your salary in the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded from now till July 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
And the top life regardless.
Under the supervision of the National Lotteries Authority under the Caritas Lottery Platform.
Even the builders of his house and sellers of his cars give him a percentage for every contract he brings. My opponent sits here and turns against the motion for once having it for making money legally. Wrong! Hey.
The biggest debate competition in Ghana is back. Which side do you represent? For or against the motion? Stay glued to your superstation Love 99.5 FM, Joy Learning and Joy Prime as we bring to you the biggest stage where schools in Ashanti show their prowess through debate. Rally behind your alma mater to glory as gallant young men and women from the various senior high schools in Ashanti elucidate their stance on matters of national interest.
Venue is the Christian Service University College.
Catch us live on Love 99.5 FM, on Facebook at Love 99.5 FM, Joy Learning and Joy Prime, 2 p.m. each day. The Love FM High Schools debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. This event is brought to you by your superstation Love 99.5 FM, the Ashanti Regional SRC, and the Regional Directorate of Ghana Education Service Ashanti and CHAS.
This program is in partnership with Pepsodent, Rasta Choco Molds from Twillium Industries, Christian Service University College, Jackson Educational Complex, Cowbell, Madam Catherine, Fritol and Fortune Rice from Wilma, and sponsored by Zest Consult, Pidato Company Limited, CBS Industries, Top Choco, Ultimate Fashions, Flora Tissues. Supported by
And thanks for staying with us here on the Joy News channel. We are your election headquarters. We're keeping our eyes on Assin North, while at that, we know that, of course, this is an MP who's been elected. The others were expected to be in the House today. So MPs, as we know, were not present, halting almost every parliamentary activity today. Joining us now is Parliamentary Affairs Correspondent Kuku Asante, who's here with us. I don't even need to ask you why that happened, because of the elections.
Right.
How's that impacting the House?
So, as from last week, we expected that this was going to happen because the NDC minority in particular had said it time and again that they wanted some key businesses to be shifted from this week, either Tuesday to Thursday, because they believe this by-election was crucial. Mind you, only last week, the Speaker of Parliament had directed that the anti-gay bill be taken on Tuesday or Thursday. The minority insisted that that should be done on Thursday, so there was that coming. But today on the floor of the House, there were only 15 MPs. 15 MPs that came in to transact business out of the 274. We know now, and we know then, that was because all these MPP and NDC MPs have all traveled to Assin North, where they are playing various roles for their respective political parties. So 15 MPs were on the floor of Parliament to transact business. Clearly, the House was not going to be able to do any meaningful business with 15 MPs. Indeed, of these 15, there were only 3 on the NDC minority side, while there were 12 on the NPP side. So the House had to take an adjournment to Thursday because we know tomorrow is a holiday. The House could not do anything meaningful, but to do something.
Do we have a sense of some of the critical activities that were expected to happen in the House, a reason for which that would have to be deferred till Thursday?
So there were questions. There were a number of questions that were in the name of NDC MPs in particular, for the Minister for Roads as well as the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources to come and answer. Those persons we know are also all in Assin. The Roads Minister himself has been in Assin for a number of days now, so he himself wasn't there. But if you look at the numbers, per the standing orders, you need at least 1/3 of all MPs present to be able to transact any kind of business. If you do the number with 274, that is just about 92, and Parliament did not have 92 today. Thankfully, no one raised the issue of quorum, but they all knew that they did not have the numbers. So they just proceeded to lay some few papers, and then they just went ahead to adjourn sitting for the day. Okay. And we had to go and ask questions about what the MPs thought was going to happen with this by-election.
And we understand that leadership of Parliament has commented on this. Virtually nothing happening, but a few are still around, is
Definitely. So Oseche Mensabonsu was here. He had gone to Assin North over the weekend, but he has returned to do government business as leader of government business in Parliament. We caught up with him, asked him what he thought was going to happen in that election. He said, per whatever he has seen, he believes it's going to be a close contest, but that the NPP will win.
Spent some time, about 2 days, in the communities along the main roads. Those are major settlements. My impression is that the NDC, the NPP is on top in those areas. But I would say in the region of about 60 to 40% in favor of the NPP. I went to some of the village settlements, and to be honest, there I saw that the NDC, the 3 settlements that I visited, it appears the NDC is also stronger in those communities. I would say there about 55 to 45% in favor of the NDC in those the 3 rural communities that I visited. And that is why I'm saying that's going to be a dicey, very close contests. I believe that it will triumph. But as I said, it can't be in thousands. It will be a few hundreds. But I guess the kind of activities that have gone on there should inure to the benefit of the NPP.
Okay, so that's the majority leader pointing out what his thoughts are about the exercise. Have we been hearing from some others?
Right, so we've heard from the minority as well. All their front benches were not there. Atoforson is not there. Amabua, Ahmed Ibrahim, Agboja, they are all in Assin North. So the available leaders today, James Agalga, MP for Bulza North, and then Vincent Opwansamo, MP for
But will you explain that to us before we hear from them? Is there any particular reason why, or strategically, why the political parties would still want to keep a few of their colleagues in the House?
In the House. Right, on the basis of, on the side of the majority, they had to be there. But the minority were playing a long game, because what if you all go to Assin, then government side pull in some taxes or some big businesses, ECCI for instance, that you've been up against, and they lay it today. So someone had to be there, and there were 3 NDC MPs there, James Agalga, Benjamin Podo, and Vincent Opwansamo. Later I saw Cletus Zavoka coming. So we caught up with Vincent Opwansamo as well about what he thinks about the election. He had also been there over the weekend and says that he disagrees with the majority leaders' assertion that they are going to win. He believes that the NDC are going to win because the constituents are rooting for James Kwesi.
There on Saturday and up to Sunday, I also went to some of the villages, and if you ask, I would say we are also ahead of them. after 5 o'clock, you know what the figures will be coming out. You know exactly what is going to happen. I think they love Joe Kwesi so much. They like Kwesi so much. And looking at what he's going through, especially the media, the legal front, most of them would like to vote for him. At least they are saying that they even want another by-election because they know once this by-election, MPP will be there and will pour in them resources. And you could see it wherever you went on Saturday, Sunday, you could see cars loading goods all over the place. Yes, I even have some of the pictures on my phone in the tipper trucks. So it is good for them when there's by-election. To them, a lot of resources are pouring in. So once the question wins, and because of the threat that they are giving, some of them think there will be another by-election so that they can get more resources. That's notwithstanding, I think even looking at all the troubles of Kwesi, he has done a lot for the constituency, and the people love him so much. So I'm very optimistic that at the end of the day, NDC is going to carry it. The figure that is given, 55, 60, and all those things, I will not play with figures. So let's wait at the end of the day.
Okay, so when are activities expected to resume?
So on Thursday, MPs will be back. We expect that some very key businesses will not be transacted. The anti-gay bill will be back on the agenda. All these questions will also be back on. The NDC expect that by Thursday, when they come in, they'll be able to swear in Jachi Kwesi as the victor so that they can have 137.
Okay, very tight race now, but our parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante giving us the update of what's happening in the House. We're still heading back to Assin North, but just before we do that, I want to bring in Sami Obing, his Executive Director for the Parliamentary Network Africa. Thank you for joining us here on The Pulse. Quite a lot of issues happening in Assin North as we speak, but the ultimate is that there'll be an impact on the House as a whole. Your take, first of all, on the empty chambers we're seeing. This was expected, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it was expected, Blessed. And, of course, parliamentary business, it would have been bad for parliamentary business if Parliament had said that because of an upcoming by-election, let's not have a sit-in on a particular day. And that, for me, is what Parliament was trying to avoid. So at least they came to the House. At least they tried to go through the general, things that needs to be done, and then they adjourned sitting for the next available sitting day. But everybody knew that today's sitting day was not going to hold.
Let's talk about the possibility, and because there are two scenarios here. It's either James Jachi Kwesi is getting back into the House, or there will be a new parliamentary representative for the people of Assin North. And in that case, the dynamics will change in Parliament. We'll no longer have a hung Parliament, and the implications could be far-reaching. To what extent can these implications be?
Blessed, I argue that whoever wins this by-election is not really going to change the current dynamics that we have in Parliament that significantly. Because you see, if Mr. Kwesi wins the by-elections, what's going to happen is that the status quo is maintained. With this status quo, we're having very high expectations of what the minority could possibly do, with the numbers since 2021. We all know what the results have really been, right? If the NPP wins in the by-election, that would also mean that the majority side of the House would have increased and would have a 139 against 136 situation. 3-member difference would also not do the majority side any significant good as the current situation is, because as the majority side, they are executing government business. They have ministers who, for many reasons, may have to be absent and what have you. So for me, this by-election, yes, it is about the numbers, and it will have an impact on the numbers. But I think that the real reason why this by-election is receiving the kind of attention and focus and interest of the two political parties is because this is a 50-50 constituency, an equal opportunity for any of the two parties to win. but it also goes to serve as a precursor to election 2024. And it would help the narrative of either parties before 2024 to either say that we told you so, we told you that you are underperforming, and Assin North have stood on behalf of the people of Ghana to punish you in this by-election, or for the NPP, and that would be the NDC speaking, or for the NPP to say that, well, we told you that things are not all terrible. Yes, the country was in a difficult situation a few months ago, but we are getting there. And the people are recognizing our efforts and the developmental work that President Akufo-Addo has done, blah, blah, blah. And so they decided to reward us with a parliamentary seat. This election is more about that bragging right and the implications that that would have on election 2024, rather than the numbers in parliament. That's my argument on this.
Okay, take it or leave it is an aspect we've not spoken about, but that's the reality, that anytime there's a political transition, which in this case will be happening next year, last-minute deals will definitely come to Parliament, and a lot comes to mind when we look at it that way. And perhaps it's the reason for which the NPP keeps pushing just to get this number on their side.
Well, you know, whether with a 3 majority in Parliament or with a 1 majority in Parliament as we currently have, I say that these deal-making, these situations, these things that sometimes breaks the heart of the citizenry will continue. But remember that what would even be more significant is the effect of members of parliament who lose in their party primaries on the overall conduct of parliamentary business. That would be more of an effect, or that would have more of an effect on the work in parliament rather than, you know, a single by-election. I mean, we know the number of incumbent members of parliament within the NDC fold that have lost their elections. We know that the MPP elections will be taking place soon. Some may lose. How many and what that will do to morale, to participation, to attendance, and all of that is, for me, the bigger determining factor.
And by set or design, you may call it, this is also a test case, and you may have your take on this as well, on the new leadership on the minority side, especially, let's focus on the new minority leader, Dr. Kaysela Tuforson. He comes from the central region. The election is happening in his own backyard, and many are wondering if his influence will come to bear. Do you feel this will be a test case of the kind of influence and the following he has, and what will an NDC defeat in this area mean for his leadership?
Well, certainly, a minority leader that comes from a particular region where there is a by-election, he would be expected to have his influence come to bear on the issues. I really do not think that it will be as significant. We know that the entire party machinery are in Assin North. The reason why it was just 3 members of parliament on the minority side in the chambers, your parliamentary correspondent had reported. Yes, he will feel the heat. Yes, he will feel that he has to contribute something. His region must reward or must show that his leadership of the party in parliament is yielding fruits and all of that. But I don't really think that it is such a significant determining factor. There is more to Assin North than just Mr. Tuforson.
There's a wider national conversation going on. It happens in the US, the midterms, as they call it, but we don't have that on our side. In terms of policy reforms, what's this by-election teaching us, for instance, as to what Ghanaians should be calling for? Say, perhaps a midterm election for all our MPs. That would be an interesting law to have here in Ghana, isn't it? At least it will help us to change if need be, isn't it?
We must be careful what we ask for. The U.S. midterm situation is because of many, many interesting reasons, and some of these reasons do not play out here. But yes, this, for me, and that's why I said that is the biggest reason why people are taking this election seriously. It is more like a one constituency midterm situation, a vote of confidence or no confidence in the government through this particular by-election, and that's why they are taking it very, very seriously. And the narration and the communication spinning that they can do with this is the reason why the 2 political parties are taking this seriously. But certainly, Assin North elections, I say, the results from Assin North will be a very important determining factor of what 2024 will look like from all angles. from political communication point of view, from the issue of development work that gets to constituencies later in the day, from the issue of incumbency and whether the incumbent government will be punished, to the issue of whether the economic woes that Ghanaians are complaining about is actually going to reflect in the polls, or the issues of vote buying and its effect and all of that. Assin North will produce a very important set of statistics and data that can be studied very well, which will be very relevant in the 2024 elections as we lead up to that.
And I agree with you on that, but let's not lose sight of the future of James Chikwese. We're not sure what the outcome of the election will be, but whatever the case, he's still standing trial. If he returns to Parliament, do you see that giving him an upper hand to prove his innocence or otherwise? We're not sure what the outcome of the legal tussle will be.
One of the reasons, or one of the, for the want of better word, benefits of Mr. Kwesi coming back to Parliament in these difficult moments for him with the criminal trial going on is that when you are a member of Parliament, we know what the rules say. We know what Parliament's position is on, going to court, being summoned, and all of those things, and some of the privileges that you enjoy as a member of Parliament. Versus if you are not a member of Parliament and you are standing a similar trial. And so for Mr. Kwesi, getting to Parliament becomes important, to be able to benefit from some of these privileges and immunities that comes to a member of Parliament. But for me, I think these are isolated situations. Once the laws of our land does not bar him from contesting to become a member of Parliament, even with these things hanging around his neck. And remember that there are other members of Parliament, even currently, who have cases hanging around their necks, in the courts of law. And so that would not be a new situation, except that it has become one very important subject matter that has been part of the political campaigning in Assin North, to the extent that, we even heard His Excellency the President play along those lines when he joined his party's rally on Sunday. But for me, I think that the people of Assin North know what they want. In the end, by 9 p.m., we would know what their eventual verdict would be, and it will determine whether they are more comfortable with a member of Parliament who will still have court cases around his neck, or they are more comfortable with somebody new.
I see. But what's also striking is that when my colleague Richard Kujinak was interacting with some of the electorate, a bill in Parliament is even dominating in the discourse and reasons surrounding the election within the era. And that's got to do with the anti-gay bill, with claims going around that an electoral victory against the NDC will mean that the New Patriotic Party will have an upper hand to kick against the bill. I mean, they've not stated their position, and yet it appears that's been the campaign strategy as well of the National Democratic Congress. It's interesting.
In political campaigns that are this close, you expect that every little opportunity, low-hanging fruits that people find to advance their communication, they will take advantage of it. And so it is not surprising that these things are coming up to say that, well, a vote for the NPP would mean that they will have 3 more seats in Parliament, and for which reason, when the time comes for us to cast the vote on the anti-gay bill, you have these things coming up in elections such as this. As to whether the electorate will buy these political campaign messaging, as to whether the issue about the court case or this, or vote buying, or last-minute projects in the constituency, as people like to put it, and what have you, will play a major role. I think that Assin North election results will provide some very interesting statistics. And I'll be more than happy, Blessed, to have a conversation with you and your team beyond the election results being announced, to analyze the results and what it means for many, many, many interesting dynamics and angles.
I promise this to be a very long night. Afterwards, we'll definitely connect with you. But thanks for spending some time with us, Sami Obing, who is with the Parliamentary Network Africa. And, of course, you're still on the Pulse on the Joy News channel. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll bring you some stories. Please stay.
boss was like, a decent fashion designer only gets home at midnight.
Midway.
Man like Osime. Papa just the chop Italian league like Oha.
These are real housewives of Abuja. Those women are fire. What does OJ say again? A relationship with money is alhamdulillah. Because they wear uniform, you want to treat people anyhow. Imagine this officer. I will clear out online.
Don't cost. Bruh, come on there. Face no matter. The biggest dragon for Westeros, then slow picking face am, climb down, right arm like Formula 1. Yeah, catch me.
He found the gold. I've asked her for just shaking a piece of the pie, and she killed him for it.
Obìnrin, fair women, no.
No one tells a story like we do. Showmax, Africa's original streaming.
Even the builders of his house and sellers of his cars give him a percentage for every contract he brings. My opponent sits here and turns against the motion for once having for making money legally. Wrong! Hey.
The biggest debate competition in Ghana is back. Which side do you represent? For or against the motion? Stay glued to your superstation Love 99.5 FM, Joy Learning and Joy Prime as we bring to you the biggest stage where schools in Ashanti show their prowess through debate. Rally behind your alma mater to glory as gallant young men and women from the various senior high schools in Ashanti elucidate their stance on matters of national interest.
Venue is the Christian Service University College.
Catch us live on Love 99.5 FM, on Facebook at Love 99.5 FM, Joy Learning and Joy Prime, 2 p.m. each day. The Love FM High Schools debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. This event is brought to you by your superstation Love 99.5 FM, the Ashanti Regional SRC, and the Regional Directorate of Ghana Education Service Ashanti and CHAS.
This program is in partnership with Pepsodent, Rasta Choco Molds from Twillium Industries, Christian Service University College, Jackson Educational Complex, Cowbell, Madam Catherine, Frytol and Fortune Rice from Wilma, and sponsored by Zest Consult, Pidato Company Limited, CBS Industries, Top Choco, Ultimate Fashions, Flora Tissues. Supported by
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see SINTEX. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
But it's faster, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntex is the answer. Syntex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
And you're welcome back. The United Nations is dedicating June 27 each time of every year to celebrating micro, small and medium-sized enterprises across the world. The essence of the celebration is to raise awareness on the contribution of these MSMEs to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, the Netherlands, Kingdom of Netherlands and the European Union says it is partnering with the government of Ghana to ensure that green employment is increased and also opportunities created for more people living here in Ghana. And that's the reason why we want to have the conversation today, to create more awareness and also to celebrate some individuals doing amazing in that world of the MSMEs. I want to bring in now my guests who are helping us to do the discussion. Let's hear from Mr. Peter van Helvert, who's the Deputy Head of the European Delegation to Ghana. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I will also be speaking to a few more individuals who are also running MSMEs successfully and also increasing the green campaign. Thank you, Peter, for joining us. Let's start off with this whole idea, the dedication and the support the European Union is giving to MSMEs. For those who do not know about the green project or green businesses, what do you consider to be a green business, by the way?
So, thanks for having me. A green business, we consider anything in the new green economy, and the background is we in Europe endeavor to be the first continent by 2050 to be carbon neutral, CO2 neutral, which is a big challenge, of course, but under the leadership of Mr. Frans Timmermans, we will get there. But if Europe does it alone, it's not enough. Europe is just a smaller part of the world, right? So we work with our partners in other countries, continents, Africa, and specifically in Ghana. And here in Ghana, we're happy to partner with the Netherlands Embassy, with SNV, and with the UN on green. And what are we doing in this endeavor? We are specifically targeting youngsters, specifically targeting women, to set up their business. They may have a good idea, but they may not have necessarily the access to finance, the access to the knowledge, the access to commercializing and PR and all of that. So we are helping with that, training, incubation, and seed money. And we have seen already some amazing examples. This morning, for instance, I was with them in the news of people who now have their business thriving, and they indeed are trainer of trainers. They in their community. They make sure they have good teaching of the community on green business.
And since you're talking about the support you provide, how do you go identifying these quote-unquote green businesses?
Mm-hmm. Good question. So the program is a total of 20 million euros for the coming years. We work with SNV, which is also happens to be a Dutch NGO, identifying the people who have a good idea. So they have their criteria, but long story short, it needs to be people who have a good idea. Of course, in the green business, it should be green. I can give a number of examples. In Kumasi, we met a guy called Edward. He's in the business of recycling waste. This morning, we were with people who have a citronella for anti-mosquito spray, making dolls, also collecting waste near Takoradi, up in Tamale as well. So it needs to be, of course, environmental friendly. It needs to be, I'm just a simple diplomat, but it needs to business, savvy wise. So there needs to be potential. And indeed, we saw already examples of people now employing 10, 15 people. So it needs to generate work as well, of course. And now, today we see around 12,000 people benefiting from this program, so we're very happy with the results so far.
Okay, let's get to the whole conversation, and this is global, because whilst we're doing this, it's part of that collective effort to ensure that we push, first of all, the green agenda and we meet the SDG targets. How is this also feeding into the green economy, which Ghana could benefit from?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you asked. So indeed, it is around the SDGs, particularly SDG 12, responsible ways of production and consumption, and it is around the Paris agenda. And as I said in the beginning, Europe has now the Green Deal, so we commit ourselves to the CO2 neutrality by 2050. But, of course, Ghana also ascribed to the Paris Agenda and to the SDGs. So it's a collective endeavor. Europe cannot do it alone, Ghana cannot do it alone. We're here to help. And we work, of course, together with the government, but only government to government is not enough. It's business to business, so we work with a business here, small and medium, which we celebrate today, but also bigger business, and then academia and civil society. So it's a whole endeavor for everybody to come together because the challenges are so huge that in the end, no actually can do it alone. At the same time, as I said this morning as well, let's call for some optimism. If you look at the news, look at everything going on, the hurricanes and wars and what have you, and droughts, one could have the temptation to just stay home and shut the curtains and all that. But the idea of this, of course, is to stay positive and to see the possibilities in the green economy. Giving the seed money, giving the training, giving the incubation for young Ghanaians, female and male, to start their green business and generate employment for other Ghanaians.
And from these amazing success stories that you were pointing out to earlier, how is that practically going to impact on the environment in tackling the issue of, for instance, climate change?
Well, for instance, if you look at Kumasi and the guy we met there, Edward, he's doing a business and making business with waste. So with the waste collection, he is employing people already. Of course, that makes Ghana greener, cleaner, and in the end safer. This morning we were in the studio with a woman from Takoradi. She said, I was asked, yeah, you are a graduate. Why are you even doing this collection of waste? And she said, why not? I'm generating employment and I'm making my own city cleaner and greener. So indeed, it is starting small. There is a lot to be done still. The majority of the jobs are not yet green, but we're getting there. And the idea is also providing, the seed money and the training and the incubation to make Ghana again greener and cleaner and leave Ghana better for our children and for our children's children, together with all the partners I mentioned.
We'll hear from some of the beneficiaries shortly, but beyond the support you're giving to MSMEs, you're equally taking a number of activities targeted at this whole conversation of climate change. What other interventions are taking place at your outfit at the European Union Commission?
So at the European Union, we have a program for the next 4 years to the tune of 200 million euros, and it is broken down in 3 parts. So it is the green economy we talked about. It is also, the sustainable cities. So, you have the big cities here in Accra, but also Kumasi, many people living together. So it's about their access to services, access to food, access to clean energy. And then the third bigger chunk is on the whole good governance, basically, also in security. Well, on the green again, I was recently in Rwanda, so we have there a big program on agriculture. The EU GAP program, it is called, to the tune of 132 million euros, making sure the farmers have access to markets. And also there, as you know, the northern part of Ghana is the poorer part, so it's important to us to not only stay as diplomats here in Accra, in the capital, or in our offices, but to go out there. We were in Rwanda, we were in Takoradi, we were in Tamale, we were in Kumasi, to see the programs in the field.
Okay, I have one more question for you about the essence, and for those who are not convinced about the conversations surrounding climate change and why they need to get on board. But before we do that, I'm also really happy to learn about, for instance, what the likes of Vaide and Nieje are doing. In her case, for instance, and she's running one of the MSMEs, she is converting waste products into dolls for babies and for children, if I should say. Vida, welcome to the program, and I'm just wondering what inspired this whole idea for you. Hello, Vida. Unfortunately, we've lost Vida due to the poor network connections that we're having. But Peter, back to the issue about, okay, yes, let's try one more time and see if we'll get Vida to share her story with us. Vida, are you there with us? Okay. Vida, if you can hear me, I was just asking about what inspired you to take this action.
Want to show off your patriotism and love for firearms? You need to check out Goat Guns. Our authentic die-cast miniature gun replicas are a great way to celebrate your rights while adding a unique and high-quality item to your collection. They are fun to build and make a great display addition to your office, man cave, or anywhere you want to show off your collection. Start your collection today at goatguns.com.
At the Home Depot, we'll get your kitchen clicking with savings on top brand appliances like a new LG CounterDepth Max refrigerator with ultra-large capacity on the inside and a seamless look on the outside. Or an LG oven with built-in air fryer for crispier, healthier cooking. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away too. Get special buy savings plus up to $1,000 off select kitchen appliances like this exclusive LG kitchen package at the Home Depot.
A toast to our new college grad who fills us with so much joy, almost as much as when we're in our RV. Oh, the world is your oyster, kiddo, and ours too. Now that we're covered with Progressive, Dad and I can hop in our RV anytime we want. Might even splurge on a retractable awning. Ooh, look out. Sorry, what was I talking about?
Protect your loved one with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Peter, a question about those who are not convinced, and you know that there are skeptics about this whole climate change conversation. How do we get to convince them to get on board?
That's a great question. It's a whole mentality thing, I think. It's difficult for me to see how you're not convinced. Just, following the news, everyday news, and you see the weather patterns anywhere around the world, United States, Europe, you name it, Africa and Asia. But even if you're not convinced about what's happening, you can also make, even the business case that green is really the future. Because we don't want to see it or frame it as either or. This program and other programs we're running, it's and both creating jobs, both tackling poverty and tackling the climate change. So when you do look at the future, where is the future? The future is, we are really convinced of that, in green jobs, in the green economy. That is what we're doing, and that's what we're convinced of. That's why we're doing it at home with the EU Green Deal, and that's why also we are working, abroad, specifically also in Ghana, with our partners on this green project.
Are you still open to, assisting any other MSME that will be willing to embark on this journey with you?
Sure. So the program is still running, so we're still open to have new people on board, provided they have a good idea and provided, it is within the criteria. We're happy to work with new partners. As I said, the current program is running now 21 to 24. As it happens, we will also have, it's a bit of a technical term, but midterm review. So we're always open to encounter new partners, meet with them, talk to them, and if they provide the criteria, take them on board.
Yeah. And then, of course, they'll be smiling on their way home, definitely, because there will be some reward to it. And that's why I want us to hear from Vida. Vida, earlier we were having some challenges with your network. I was just asking about your unique story of how you're using waste products to convert them into dolls for children. What's inspiring this story? Hello, Vida, I can see you. I'm just asking what's inspiring your decision to do this.
Okay, please, this is Georgina, not Vida.
It appears Georgina is also one of the MSMEs joining us. But yes, you're still welcome, Georgina. So let's talk about your story as well. In your case, what are you doing and how do you feel that this green project has been very helpful?
Okay, thank you very much. I am into solid waste management. Using our innovative ideas in creating dustbins we give to households, institutions, and communities, teaching them how to start the waste segregation at the home level. At the end of every week, we go around to our clients, we evacuate the waste, we take the food waste to our compost site, we produce organic compost with it.
Okay, and when you do that, do you sell the compost, or what do you do next? Not a really favorable day for us, but we need to go. So let me get back to you, Peter, on the way forward and what message you have on this day as we celebrate MSMEs and also their contribution to attaining the SDGs. What would that message be?
We're very privileged and happy to work with Assin East here in Ghana. As you see, it's a backbone of the economy, really, as it is, by the way, in our own countries in Europe. I'm very privileged to work with them. I was very inspired by the stories I heard this morning by Gina and Emmanuel and also Edward and others, indeed, on how they work with waste, e-waste, waste even to make doors. I couldn't have imagined it, but it happens and it is feasible and works very well. Also, I want to stress.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, we'll get back to you shortly. Just wrap up for me briefly, Peter.
Just to stress, we also work on what we call the circular economy. We hand it out also as part of our 20 million year program. Prices to the tune of 100,000 Ghana cedis to provide this seed money. And indeed, we are looking forward to work again with the Ghanaians to continue this green program with SNB International.
All right, then. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so we'll do the conversation, of course, later on in our subsequent bulletins. But thank you for spending some time with us. Of course, we'll be getting to some more stories for you. You're with us here on the Pulse on the Joy News channel. We'll definitely get back with some stories. Please stay. And you're welcome back. Many of you may have noticed that the weather hasn't been favorable over the last few days, and it's been raining quite a lot, with many parts of the country also getting flooded. But the Ghana Meteo Agency is indicating that this situation will begin easing from the second week of August. Let's get more from Felicity Ahiafenyo, who is the head of forecast at GMET, joining us here. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. And I'm sure that the rains prevented you from coming into our studios. Now the rain is down, so you're coming. But what are we to expect in the coming days?
Yeah, thanks so much, and good evening to our dear audience. Yes, in the coming days, we still have rain over the southern sector, but then the intensity is going to reduce gradually. And then by second week of August, we're expecting that we'll have an end to the major rainy season for the southern sector. But then the north, they will still be in the season because they are just starting. So we're expecting frequent thunderstorms with rain over their area from now till August, September through to October. So for tonight, yes, it's going to be cloudy over the entire country with pockets of rain and then drizzle over the coastern part of the middle sector through to tomorrow. That's the indications we are picking from our model chart. And then on Thursday we expect similar thing. Then over the north, yes, we're expecting one moderate to severe thunderstorms between now and then Sunday. So everybody needs to be in preparation for that.
Okay. Because of the issues of flooding that we keep hearing about, a lot of people are dependent on the information, the kind of information that you give them. Are they accurate, first of all, and how often are you putting them out for the general public to be aware of?
Yeah, I think the last validation that we did on our own, we were scoring almost 100%.
Right.
And then every day too, we do validate to know how accurate the forecast is becoming. Just yesterday we did one and we scored 90% for the entire forecast that we've issued last week. So for in terms of accuracy, we are not God, but then the knowledge, the wisdom that He has blessed us with, we are putting it to use. So the forecast is becoming more accurate, so Ghanaians can depend on it. On daily basis, we release 3 times. We have the morning, the afternoon, and then the evening. And then for the whole week too, we have 3 times. We have Mondays that we release for the whole week. And then we have Wednesday for the midweek, and then Friday for the weekend. So if you are not able to get the Monday forecast, then you can rely on the midweek or the weekend, so you can plan your activities ahead of time.
So you have your platforms active, and we'll be talking about the platforms that people can just move into and get the information that they may want. But what general caution do you have in this rainy season about the trend and also the nature of the rains that we'll be experiencing in this period?
Yeah, for the southern sector, we are almost in the cold season. So the weather will be very chilly, especially in the morning and then the evening hours.
Someone is saying winter has come to Accra.
Yeah, winter has come to Accra, yeah. So we are pleading with parents, mothers, fathers to get warm clothing for our kids and then the aged in society. We ourselves, we should try and get some small umbrellas or raincoats. And then in terms of our drainage system, we need to do something on our own to make sure that we clear the waterways. For the government, to the assemblymen or whatsoever, we are pleading. The potholes are just too much. They have to try as much as possible to fill it up for us. And then drivers or motorists, we should try as much as possible not to cross any standing water that we have no knowledge about.
That can be dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
And also about asking you how you're working, for instance, with the Road Safety Authority in this period, because visibility will be down, right? Yeah,
visibility will be very poor, especially during if you're having a moderate or severe rain event or early morning mist and foggy patches. And this time is going to be more frequent, especially the morning hours. So if you have foggy, visibilities are going to be less than 1,000 or 1 kilometer. In some cases, you can get like 100 meters and at times 50. So you can just imagine if a vehicle is driving at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour, what it can cause. So we are pleading that they should come in. But in terms, we are working with other institutions, NADMO, the most. With the other DVLA, this year they've come on board, but we've not had any official agreement on how to go about it. But there are things on the table. We will be doing a lot of policies.
But the general caution to drivers is?
They should mind their speed. They should not cross any standing water. And then if their cars has a problem, they should try as much as possible to park it at a very good place. That it will not tend to be a nuisance to another road user.
Is this just an Accra problem? That's a question on the minds of many in terms of the patterns that you're putting out and all of that, because the feeling is with just a little minutes of rain, you'd find some level of flooding going on within Accra. How about the other parts of the country as well? What are we likely to experience?
Yeah, the other parts of the country too are also coming into the picture now. Elubu on a single day, that's I think 21st, they recorded 244.4 millimeters.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I heard there was a lot of floods over the community. So gradually it's spreading. And when the north also comes in, the upper east, per our seasonal forecast, we are anticipating slightly above the normal threshold for them. So definitely by the July, August, they will also come into the picture with flooding situations. So every other part is also now coming in. And also it depends on where the active spot passes. Right. So if the active spot is over Accra, definitely we'll go. But Accra, we have other conditions that are contributing to influence. Okay. But then the Volta region, Eastern, Ashanti, Central, and then part of Western regions, we have, if the center is over there and then stagnate for a while, most definitely we'll have that situation.
The rainfall patterns itself, are we going according to what is expected of the kinds of seasons that we have, or there's some sort of a change in the patterns that you're seeing over the period?
Yeah, I think our seasonal forecast for 2023 predicts that we are going to have a slightly above the normal threshold. And so far, that is what we are seeing over the southern sector. But some portions over the middle and then the transition into the north are earmarked for below average rainfall. And currently, to most farmers over the north are crying that they are not getting the rains. Yes, so the trend is almost in how we predicted that 2023 will be.
We'll have more rains, and I recall having that conversation.
Yeah, we'll have more rains for the southern sector, and then part of the upper east regions, they will be having a lot of rains.
Okay, so when exactly is this expected to end? Or are we going to have a repetition later in the year? What's going to be the trend?
Yeah, for the southern sector, we have two rainy seasons, the major and the minor. So by September, the minor will set in. But then July, August is noted for little dry season, where we have just cloudy weather, chilly, and then light rain or drizzle. But 2023 is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a bit wetter than what we know. But then for the north, they are starting. So by first week of October, they will be out of the season. And for the southern sector, for 2023 rainy season, by October, first, second week of November, will also be out of the rainy season.
Okay, and we'll be wrapping up shortly, but this whole issue about the precautions, for those in the south, you're saying the weather will be a bit cold. How about the north? And since they are not having too much rain, will the conditions remain stable as compared to what's happening downtown?
Yes, conditions will remain a bit stable for them, but then their temperature will be a little bit warmer than those of us over the southern sector. We are predicting between 33, 36 during the days that they will not have any rain, and then between 33, 31 during the days that they will get rain. And then it's likely, if we have a clear sky over them, they are likely to have as high as 38 degrees Celsius in terms of their maximum temperature. But then in August, they will also be in low temperatures, especially in the morning hours.
I was talking about the general public earlier because information is very critical in this space that we find ourselves, owing to the fact that when it's raining or when it's about to rain, a lot of people get agitated, first of all, in Accra, in the national capital. So they need timely information so they can make informed decisions. Do you have some portals, now we're in the age of technology, maybe some portals, applications that you give constant information on the changing patterns?
Yes, we do. We have one app, My Flood Risk Accra.
Okay, that's what you're checking.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking. Yeah, so they can download it. Okay. This one also gives you the indication for your location. If the storm that we are expecting, if it's going to cause a flood in Kokomemle. So the
you're
app,
able to predict.
Yes, the app will prompt you that we are expecting this amount of rainfall, so you can prepare yourself and then get yourself out. And then for other information, you can go to our website on www.meteo.gov.gh, where we post all our forecasts there. We have the seasonal forecast, we have the daily forecast, and weekly, midweek, and then the weekend. You can also get it on Twitter, Ghana Met on Twitter, and then we can have it on the Instagram. We are also now on Instagram, Ghana_Meteorological Agency.
Right. You know that a lot of people don't really take these things. They take it for granted, let me put it that way.
The forecast.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because they feel, well, Why is it necessary? Why do I need it? How do you convince these people?
I think now even the people that are requesting for forecast, that number keep increasing.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Just this morning we processed almost 10 requests.
Wow.
For specific, some are for funerals, some are for marriages, some are for one conference or the other. And then some of the media houses, when they have outdoor activities, they request, like the Assin North election too. Some people requested, they wanted to know.
There won't be any rain.
There won't be any rain.
Some of the political parties will go and say, will it rain? Because we need some of the ballot papers to get wet. When it comes to us, yes, we are not God, but we are trying our best. And our season is not like the Europeans or the American season, or that's. But then, between March and October is crucial for us. Anything can happen. I think last week we had about 4 lives were lost, and then some houses were ripped off, and then we have floods here and there. But then, if we are able to get the information and put it in place, I believe that those 4 lives wouldn't have get lost into the system. So they should have faith in us and then take the forecast and then use it. That's why we are updating it 3 times in a day. So if there is a time that we realize that that we predicted for heavy rain, but then the intensity is going to reduce, we have one forecast that will correct that, and then we are cool. And I will applaud the media too. They are doing very well for us, and we want journalists to also come on board, so that at least every morning or every evening you can get the daily forecast to your viewers. We need to go. What final message do you have for our viewers as to what they should be expecting in the next few days?
Yeah, as I said earlier on, we are expecting another outburst of rain.
At the Home Depot, we have laundry appliances that just fit. From the space you have, to the features you want, to the savings you need. Like a new GE Profile Ultra Fast Combo laundry machine that can wash and dry a large load in about 2 hours, without you ever having to transfer the load over. Get special buy savings like the GE Profile Ultra Fast Combo Laundry Machine, plus an extra $100 off select laundry sets in store and online at the Home Depot.
Activities over the southern sector. Currently over the satellite imagery, we are having it over our source region, that's over Nigeria. They are popping up as popcorn. We expect them to come together and then move over us. So tomorrow morning, it's likely we'll get up with some slight to moderate rain over Greater Accra, Western region. And then in the afternoon, we'll get it over the middle to the north. So we should expect rain between now and Sunday.
I hope that extends to Assin North tomorrow morning.
Yes, Assin North too. Yes, we are earmarked for them this evening. They will get some showers.
This evening, okay. So if it rains, depending on which side you belong to, you consider that as a blessing or as a curse?
No, it can't be a curse.
Whichever way.
It can't be a curse.
Felicity Ahiafenyo for joining us here on The Pulse. We're grateful for your time. Thank you.
Thank you too for having us.
And that's all we have for you in this package of The Pulse. I am Lester Sugan. Log on to myjoyonline.com. We have lots of stories for you there.